Hey guys, I hope you're being good for Miss Charlotte. I want a good report when I get back, okay? Alright, be on your best behavior. Alright, so let's get into today's lesson. Alright, I know you guys have seen this flip chart before because we've talked about prefixes a lot this year. We haven't spent a lot of time talking about suffixes, which was what we're going to be talking about today. So if you remember, the reason we have Mr. Potato Head on this one is because when we add prefixes and suffixes to a word, it's kind of like when you play with a Mr. Potato Head and you add new things to him. Because the regular potato is called the root word, remember? And we're going to add things to it to make new words, just like Mr. Potato Head. When you add something to the beginning of a word, it's called a prefix. And when you add something to the end of a word, it's called a suffix. And when you add those prefixes and suffixes, it becomes a new word. And it means something different because when you put a prefix or a suffix on a word, it changes what the word means. Alright, so I'm going to flip through some of these prefixes that we've talked about this year. Alright, and that brings us to the suffix LY. This is going to be the first suffix we're going to talk about this year. Alright, so the first thing we need to know is, what does LY mean? Because all of the prefixes and suffixes mean something, and when you stick it on a word, it makes it mean something different. So LY, when I stick it on a word, it means in a way. And I know that sounds a little bit confusing, but it's kind of like the way you are doing something. For example, we're going to look at some of these words over here. I've got those question marks there because we're going to decide if we can put LY on these words, and we'll talk about what it means in a way when we add the suffix. So let's look at the first word, easy. Can we put LY on that and make a new word? Easy, or easily? Easily. Yeah, easily is a word. The only thing is, when we make it easily, we have to change the Y to an I and then put LY. It's just what we have to do. So easily. What about run? Can we put LY on run? No, that would be runly. That's not a word, so we can't put it on run. What about quick? Yes, good. Quickly is a word, so we can put it on quick and make quickly. What about rock? No, rockly is not a word. What about shoe? Shoely? No. What about successful? Yes, we can turn it into successfully, and it's going to be hard for me to squeeze that in there. I'm almost out of room, so I'm going to squeeze it in there. It's kind of ugly, but it's there. Successfully, yes. Alright, so let's look at these three words we made. We made easily, quickly, and successfully. And I told you that when you stick LY, it means in a way. So if we make the word easily, that means we're doing something easy, or that's the way we're doing it. We're doing it easy. Like what is something you would do easily? Would you rock a baby easily? Definitely, yes. You wouldn't want to rock a baby too hard. That might hurt the baby, so you do it really easily. If you were throwing a ball to Mr. Miller, would you do it easily? You probably wouldn't have to, right? Because Mr. Miller's a big, tall man. He can catch a ball. That wouldn't be a problem. But if you were throwing a ball to like a little 1-year-old baby, would you throw it easily to the baby? Yeah. So it's the way that you're doing something. So you're doing it in that way. You're doing it in an easy way. What about quickly? That would mean you're doing it in a quick way. That's the way you're doing it. You're doing it quickly. You might do your homework quickly if you're in a hurry. Would you want Try to think of something you would not want to do quickly. Maybe if you're trying to walk on a tightrope, you probably wouldn't want to be too quick with that because you may make a mistake and fall off. So quickly, it just means you're doing it in a quick way. Same thing for successfully. If you are successful, that means like something has worked for you or you are good at something. If you are successfully doing something, that means you're doing it in a successful way. You are succeeding in whatever you're doing. So let's look at some words that are going to be in the book. We've got that word easy again, and we're going to make it easily, loudly, carefully, temporarily, and then accidentally. So we're putting ly or ly on all of these to make new words. And you're going to see this on the page you're about to do. So just before you get used to do the page, let's make sure you know what each of these words mean. I'm going to have to rewrite easily because remember I told you when you write easily you have to put a Y instead of an L. I'm sorry, instead of the an I instead of the Y. There we go. So that's how you spell easily. Loudly, you're just going to stick an LY on it. Same thing for carefully, you just stick a LY. Same thing for accidentally, you just stick a LY. But temporarily is the same thing. You have to change this Y to an I. This is going to be a long one to write. Sorry guys, it's hard to write fast with my mouse. I write slowly with my mouse. That's the way I'm doing it. Alright, goodness gracious, this is taking forever. Okay, I got it finally. Temporarily, it's not very neat either, but it's hard to write with my mouse. Alright, so easily, carefully, accidentally, loudly, and temporarily. Remember, if you're doing something easily, that's the way you're doing it. You're doing it easy. Carefully, that means you're doing it in a careful way. Like if I said, please go take that bomb and lay it on the shelf. I don't know why you'd have a bomb, but you'd probably want to carry a bomb carefully in a careful way because it's a bomb and it might explode, so you do it carefully. Very good. Oh, loudly. That means you're going to do it in a loud way. Would you talk loudly in the library? No. Could you cheer loudly at a football game? Yes, because that means you're going to do it in a loud way. Temporarily. Maybe you don't know what temporary means, but temporary means it's not going to last. You're not going to have it for a long time. It's going to be really short. So, temporarily, let's see. Oh, I've seen like signs on doors that might say like temporarily closed. If they're going to be temporarily closed, does that mean closed for a long time or a short time? Yeah, short time. Temporary just means something that's short. It's not going to last very long. So temporarily closed, which means they're closed just in a temporary way. Just for a little bit. I've heard of temporary tattoos. They don't last very long, so they're just temporarily on your arm. They're not going to be there for very long. Alright, and then accidentally. We know what an accident is. It means you didn't mean to do it. If you accidentally run into somebody, what should you do? Yeah, you should say sorry because you did it in an accidental way. You didn't mean to do it. That's what LY means. It means you're doing it in that way. So something that was accidentally done, you didn't mean to do it. It was accidentally said. It's hard to say. Alright, so you're going to work on a page in your workbook, and you're going to see all of these words, and you're going to see if you can figure out what blanks they go in, okay? Alright, I think you guys are going to do great, and we'll talk about these words some more on a different day. Bye, guys.